scrappy friends, welcome to my channel. Today you are watching me create a art journal page in my Jean Davenport art. It's like a watercolor art journal, and it's a hardcover, and I absolutely love it. If you are looking for a really nice sturdy art journal, this is the way to go. I will say it's not so good for chunky stuff, but you know, I'm still going to put chunky stuff in it. So what I am doing is I started off with just some plain gesso on here. And then now I'm adding some Shimmerz creamies and Inklingz. And I'm using the Boogie board in blue. And I use the freshly inked, or like freshly mint. And that is in the Inklingz. And the mint is a really, really soft color. I really love it. It's a really nice just way to start off a page if you're afraid of that white background. So it really just gave it something. I don't mind that that white background, but also you see on the side I have some doodled like circles and stuff, and they're meant to mimic pom-poms. I'm really into pom-poms. So I was thinking I would try to do some flowers, but I'm not too good with flowers. So as you can see, I attempted them, and then now I'm just splattering. Now, one of the things is because this is starting to get really chunky, it's really collecting in the spine. So yeah. When you're doing art journaling like this, you kind of just have to be aware that this kind of stuff is going to happen, and you keep your paper towel handy, and you just try to avoid letting it, as much of it, settle in that spine so it doesn't end up on your other pages, because it will go through to the other pages. Like I'm not gonna, like, there's no way around that unless you're absolutely using like a ton of gesso. So maybe if I had used more gesso, it might have not bled so much in there, but you know, I'm not too worried about it coming on my pages too much. I mean, these are stitched with red, so each little section, there's this little section. So you could always take the sections out if you're afraid. I mean, I don't know. I really don't want to dismantle it because it's a really, really nice journal. So now I'm just adding some blue. It's like a blue-green teal color. And really what I am doing is just adding layers. So I just like to just do what feels right. Really, that's all it's about. And I try to pick colors that are similar in color palette, or that I think work together. So I used one of the Christmassy colors of the sprays, and that is in a Vibez. So hold on a second and I'll tell you what color that it was. That was Velveteen Green. And if you get the winter kit, that is the spray that's in there, and it's a really pretty Vibez. It's like a really nice teal. It's green. It's more green than blue, but I wanted that to work with that blue. That boogie boarding blue is a really pretty blue. It's really pretty. And then, so what I have in that fine line bottle is just some Acritonez that I thinned out with airbrush a medium. So that thins your paint out. And I did that because I want to keep the integrity of the paint. You really don't have to do that. You could use water because this is really just for an art journal. So it's not like I'm doing like a high class pitch painting that I'm going to like sell to someone. But I figure because I'm really interested in art, as far as like getting better at it, I've decided for myself that it would just be better to use it's going to keep the integrity of those acrylic paints together so it doesn't separate as much, and it just kind of helps in the bottle. So I used the tartar, and I used in the navy, and so now I'm using some pink Acritonez that I just put on the side, and I'm using my watercolor brush that has the water in it, just because that has a tip that is pretty small and easy to do like some doodling. So I'm just adding some little X's, and I just filled in that one side. So this is going to bring in some color, and you're going to see in a minute, I'm going to actually just cover up a lot of what I did. And I could have not did that. I could have just left it really dark, but I felt like the brass, so the flowers that I made were in brass knuckles Inklingz, and I absolutely love the color. It's really similar to like a coppery color, and it's really fun, especially for this winter time. You know, you get those cool and browns and like the blue and browns. I really feel like, you know, are a really fun color, but it needed to be muted down. So I just added some white acrylic paint, and I know Shimmerz used to have the Acritonez. They're no longer selling those. So if you have some, you can definitely use Acritonez. I would suggest to use your Acritonez and don't let them sit around too long if you're afraid, you know, that you're going to use it all, because I have found that the longer they sat on my desk, they just, the the primer that is in them, I feel like really sinks down to the bottom. So that's my own personal um preference for them. So when I have them, I use them. So I'm all out of white. I've used all the white up. I use white all the time. So I'm just using whatever white I have in my stash. It really doesn't have to be, when you're doing an art journal like this, it doesn't have to be amazing, high quality. But I really do like to use the Shimmerz because you, for what you pay, you get a great quality product. So I've used that stencil, and I mix the patina Texturez, which has, it's a modeling paste that has texture in it, and it has a lot of color. So it's patina. So it's like a greeny teal color. And then I mixed some of it in with just plain modeling paste, and I like to use the light and fluffy kind because it's just really light. If I want something heavy, I'm gonna go for the Shimmerz products. All of their texture pastes have a lot of body to them, so if I want something like that, I'm gonna go for that instead. So I really like the modeling paste because it can really lighten up the Shimmerz textures and some of their other pastes. So now what you're seeing me do is using Mod Podge. You could definitely use matte medium too. That would definitely work for this. And this is a cut file that I've got, oh gosh, I don't even know. I cut this like a long time ago, like years ago. And it's on Maggie Holmes paper. And so I just added it on, and I waited a few minutes. You didn't see that, but I actually did wait a minute or two because I'm going to add these foil flakes, but I wanted the glue to be a little tacky. Now, I don't want it to be dry because I want the foil to stick to it. But I wanted it to be kind of tacky because I was watching some other people use them, and they suggested the tacky glue is really what is going to make the foil stick to it. And then you will have less of the foil hanging off or rubbing off. So especially for a project like this where I'm going to put it in my album and I'm not going to remove it, and I'm not going to add anything over top of it. I don't want to add any matte medium to the top of it, which you definitely could. You could add the matte medium because the matte is not going to be shiny. It's not going to, you know, it's just going to sit on top. The thing I don't like about that is that I really want it to be shiny. I want it to look like gold leaf. And I feel like whenever you add like a Mod Podge or matte medium on top of stuff like that, as much as it is pretty matte and you're not gonna really get that shine from it, it does dull the foils. So that's just from the playing around that I've done, that's what I found. So you've seen me kind of put down that bottom doily. That side doily is actually not really on yet. I just have this stuff kind of laying there because I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. And so I decided to use those, you see me do the rub-ons. Now, not all of them work. So I cut through them. And so now you're just seeing me figure out where I want to put everything. And I kind of looked through some stuff, and I did cut out me looking through stuff because I really had a hard time with that side cluster because I really wanted to add a lot of paper to this. That was one of my intentions when I started this, was that I really missed doing mixed media page, art journal page, that had a lot of paper in it, because that's one of the things that I like as a scrapbooker to bring in my products, especially stuff that I have sitting around on my desk and that I really wanted to use but just hasn't made it on a layout, and it would be fun to add it. So I have these really cute freckled fawn words that are like laugh and giggle and create, and I feel like they're the perfect tone and the perfect color to help give some depth to the page, because right now you have a lot of these light colors and gold, and so it needs something to like ground it, right? So I'm gonna put these throughout, and the fun thing about these foam thickers, or like alphas, is that you can really move them around, and so you can create shapes with them. I mean, I didn't move them around too much, but that was one of the things that I was noticing, and I was absolutely loving it. So I'm almost done with this. And I definitely am done using all the Shimmerz products, but I think what I wish I had done and I didn't do is went back through with one of the actual shimmer pots. There's the blings, and I absolutely love it, and you can get some really cute gold colors, and just did like enamel like splatters because when they dry with, they look like enamel dots, but I didn't do that. So I added that happy, and that is actually from Pebbles. That was from a big Pebbles thickers sheet, but it looks a lot like these freckled fawns. So I added that to the other side, and then I just added a wood veneer piece, and I have some tags and washi tape underneath. So it's just a little bit of paper products. It wasn't as much as I wanted to add, but I am very happy with the way it turned out, and like it's so much fun, and I really just enjoy adding bits and pieces to pages and kind of create something that's just fun and uplifting and reminds me why I do this. I love to create. It makes me happy and it makes me laugh, and it gives me something that you know, helps me clear my mind after a long day of mom work, and you know, and chores and all of the things that life has for us. And so I definitely hope that you guys will give something like this a chance, because just playing and making mixed media and art journaling your own is like, is absolutely rewarding if that is the way that you want to go about creating. So I will see you guys later. Don't forget to check out the Shimmerz store and use my name, Hannah, in the comments, and you can get a free product from Shimmerz when you order from their store. I'll have all the links below, and I will see you guys later this month with another Shimmerz product video. Bye!